What's up, guys? This is
Hey
John
everybody.
from TheUndercoverBrony, and
Hey everybody.
Snakeskin has a word for you.
So yeah, it's Snakeskin here. So it's been a long day. Me and John are both extremely tired. Uh I've got to record loud metal music and I got friends at the house I'm at doing yard work. So um my head is full of a lot of things right now. But you know what? Ah, shit. It's all the same anyway, because I couldn't sleep after the new episode of Friendship is Magic. Because there was so much goddamn meta in this one goddamn episode that it's almost too much to bear. And it's not like whiny douchey meta like when Teen Titans Go does an episode like this every other fourth episode. This was like really well written out. The actors played their parts very well. There was a lot of the song was great, and yeah, basically, I've waited a long time to say these words again. But thank you, M.A. Larson.
Yes, he's finally back. He was gone for season 6, but now he's back, and we're about to do his episode. So
Yeah, it was
let me
five.
kind of,
It was basically 5 stars, right, Thomas?
Yeah.
He hasn't watched the show, so yeah, you go.
So I'm going to say this now. I want to give a bit of a shout out because I'm going to say this now. When I first saw the episode, when at the point in the intro when Fluttershy's like, is it something I need to prepare myself for? I was thinking, that sounds like how M.A. Larson would write Fluttershy. And then I see Fame and Misfortune written by M.A. Larson. I'm like, I know this man way too well. Just saying.
Yeah, credit must be given where it is due, John, because not only is M.A. Larson a very recognizable style and just person, because he's been around so long, he's
And
just
such a chill dude, too.
he's a gem. He's a real gem amongst the one among what, but he's just a pleasant human being.
At
Also,
least
I
he
don't know why
doesn't hang
Spike
around.
wasn't.
I'm just happy he doesn't hang around with a bunch of holograms.
Also, I want to point
Reference.
out I have no idea. I have no idea why Spike wasn't in this episode. This felt like the perfect episode for Spike to be in, but whatever. I guess
Yeah,
he's
pretty
going to be
much.
around next week. He's going to be around next week for the Thorax episode. So okay,
That's right. We do have a thorax episode.
yeah, boy. Okay, so you take it from here. I've got to multitask a few things.
Okay, so it starts off with Twilight and Starlight. They're talking, and um, Twilight pulls out the friendship journal from season 4, basically the season 4 MacGuffin journal, and they're basically like, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I love all these ones," and I guess they combined her letters from the beginning into the journal because she has the, friendship isn't always easy, but it's there's no doubt it's worth fighting for, which is
And
the
it's
Discord.
always magic.
Yeah, and it's the one from the Discord episode. So I'm thinking, yeah, she probably put her journals in there. But I'm gonna say this: there was a let me think. There was there. I mean, she was just looking through the journal, reminiscing, and she's like, "Hey, Starlight, um, wouldn't it be awesome if we'd be able to publish this or whatever?" So they
It'd be like, hey
gather.
Starlight, wouldn't it be sweet if we could take something genuine and turn it into profit? Hashtag symbolism.
I'm just thinking, do you know what happens when we multiply? I'm just like, shipping? Just saying.
And remember, kids, if it ain't capitalism, it ain't realism.
So we have the main 6 gathered in the Hall of Friendship. Twilight and Starlight come through and they're like, you guys remember the journal? And they pass it around to each other. And Some of the things that they have for this are freaking hysterical. Like Rainbow Dash is completely gloating the entire time. Fluttershy's the text is so small because she thought that others would want to write on that page. And I'm just like, oh, that's adorable. You have um you have AJ, being pretty normal. You have Rarity, who has it in basically, I'm guessing, the pony equivalent of cursive. And and I love how it's AJ that's talking about it, so the Southern stereotype doesn't know how to read cursive. But what's really funny, it's like, yes, I know. By phone, whenever I get a text message that says, let me out, I'm stuck in your pocket. Anyway, so AJ's like, what is this? And Rarity's like, well, if you want to write something, why not make it fabulous? I'm just like, yeah, I could totally see her doing that. And then Dash picks up the book and opens it up. Some confetti flies out, and it's like, I found Pinky's page.
I'm just like, I don't know how that worked, but somehow Applejack was able to cram an entire apple in her thing. So, I don't, I stopped putting anything past the show around halfway through season 2.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So we just got to go with Josh Scorcher. It's Pinkie Pie, don't question it.
Yeah, I don't usually subscribe to that, but it does have a ring of truth to it.
At least when it comes to Pinkie Pie, like most definitely. So they're talking, and Twilight's like, well, Starlight actually knows how to do a copy spell to do a perfect copy. So she copies it for each of her friends, and then she's like, that's only the first part of the surprise. The second part of the surprise is that we're gonna go and sell these, make a profit off of them and share what we've learned to hopefully help other ponies. And by the way, the two little fillies that are in this episode, Chularula and Sugar Sweet or whatever their names were, they were actually
it was like Fruity Tooty or something.
Yeah, they are from G3. That was pointed out to me. I'm just like, so that's why one of the characters has a mane and a tail that are completely different from one another. It's the G3 syndrome. Just saying.
Is it a syndrome, or is it the right kind of appropriation?
I don't know. Starlight Glimmer would have problems with her mane and tail, just saying. But they're like, let's copy this book and sell it. So they start selling it, and it goes like hotcakes. And they're like, okay, this is great. We're gonna be able to have people understand the magic of friendship and be able to have this help them throughout their lives. Problem is, they start talking, and this is where it becomes meta. Do you want to talk about this part?
This is, like I told John, one of the most meta things I've ever seen. The next 15, 17 minutes are just incredible.
Indeed. So go ahead and talk about them.
Okay, so fuck you, Scott. Okay, so first off and foremost, everyone's like, dude, it starts off like, dude, this is the sickest thing. It's so ill. It's so mean. It makes medicine sick. And then Starlight and Twilight are in this cafe or whatever. And over here's these two ponies talking. And this isn't what they say, but they're basically like, yo, why is Rarity there? She's trash.
And Rarity's right there too.
Rarity's right there. And I love how Starlight, they don't show what happens, but I love how Starlight's like, Twilight, you go after her, I'll deal with this. I really like the idea that Starlight's the type of person to where if you shit talk her friends, she'll beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, I can totally see that too. So, yeah, go on.
What the fuck up, Scott? So, yeah. So then after that, then they quarter Fluttershy. Oh my god, I can't help but feel like this whole thing, like everyone's got their beef with Fluttershy and all the ponies, but Fluttershy specifically has a particular fandom mean streak, I'd like to say. And I can't help but feel that, of course, it was directed to them. I can't help but feel that this was all really directed towards guys like Brony Curious, or maybe just Brony Curious. See, in some ways, some of the stuff in the episode was the tiniest bit dated, but I need to emphasize the tiny bit because after this episode, I went on like Tumblr and a bunch of places I know that Brony purists and analysts dwell, and they're just reaffirming literally everything this episode talked about. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, you guys. So everyone, so
You
they're
guys
like, yo,
don't understand.
So they're like, yo, Fluttershy, why haven't you learned just to be assertive already? And Fluttershy literally tells them, what, you think you can learn something once and then change your entire life? And then they're like, whoa, you're assertive. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, right. So that whole thing, and I guarantee you, it was just as much of a meta thing for it was just as much of a meta thing for the show and the meta for the Brony analysts, but at the same time, it was also meta for how M.A. Larson wrote Fluttershy. Because if you look at Magic Duel, that's exactly where she was. She was incredibly timid at that point. So it's kind of like a burn on M.A. Larson in an M.A. Larson episode. It's glorious. So then you have a bunch of people that are just like, you you have a bunch of little fillies following Rainbow Dash around everywhere, and they're like, "Tell us about the time that you met Daring Do for the 150th time." And Dash is like, "I don't wanna. I don't like that you guys keep following me. I don't like change." And I'm thinking to myself, Dash, you thrive off of this. Why are you acting like that? But then I'm thinking about it a little bit more, and I'm like, wait a second. It would make sense if it's that she's having to do the same thing over and over and over. Otherwise,
Yeah,
she'd be
and
just
there was
fine
only
with the attention.
there's something weird about that with me. I remember thinking to myself, I'm just like, wait a minute, did she? Oh god damn it! Did she tell everybody in those journals that AK Yearling and Daring Do were like the same person? Because in which case, that's a totally killing kayfabe.
That would be a little weird if that happened. AK Yearling would have some choice words for Rainbow Dash. Just saying. So then you have where everyone's just yelling and screaming, and Starlight Glimmer says, "Hold on, I'll be right back." And they go outside and they're trying to figure out why every pony is acting like this. And they sing that song. Interesting song.
It's a very poignant song, that's for sure. Or as I like
almost
to call it,
a little too poignant, I would say. It wasn't a bad song by any means, but it was the kind of song that felt like, how there are some songs that cannot be brought to any other thing except for the specific subject matter, like most of Magical Mystery Cure, how brilliant it is. You still have the majority of Magical Mystery Cure with the songs being just designated for those specific scenes instead of anywhere else. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's it's a specific type of tune, but like I don't know, I liked it because it's very broad, but without being too vague.
Mm-hmm.
Should we
So
just try?
And the music's nice too.
Fucking
yeah. So They sing the song. It's pretty nice. And it just gets the characters to just keep screaming and bitching and moaning. And so Starlight Glimmer then brings up the Tularuda and Tutti Frutti or whatever. And she said there were two characters in this episode that actually listened to the friendship journal.
Yo,
They became better
really
friends
quick.
because of it.
Yo, really quick, we forgot to mention that shit with Applejack, where she straight up says she's popular and everyone wants to be a member of her family.
Oh yeah, everyone wants to be a member of the family, and I can't turn away family. I'm just like, oh my gosh, that is every Southern family ever. Like seriously.
And let me tell you, from my dad's side of the family, it's every fucking Mexican family too.
Well, I'll tell you this. My dad's side of the family is Southern, so I totally get where they're coming from with this. We love everyone.
Motherfucker.
But yeah, that was funny. So the two little fillies actually learned from it, and they're like, "Oh, we need to have a group hug," and they have a group hug. And AJ,
that's how the episode.
Well, here's what's funny though. I'm thinking to myself, how are they going to figure out the thing? There's only like 2 minutes left in the episode. How are they going to figure out what's outside? AJ asked that. What are we going to do about the ponies outside? And Twilight's just like, just live in the moment, Applejack. We'll figure those ponies out later. And the episode ends, and I'm just like, that is too perfect. It's just awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And that brings me to the song. Like I said, the song, and this was what they said in the song, basically, but kid friendly. The song is literally, "Look, we're not perfect. Leave us the fuck alone." And it's like, and I like it because I'm all about it when shows get back at unappreciated fans. I don't want to make it sound like I'm always like the perfect fan. Trust me, I'm not. But
Neither am I.
I really like it when they do that. But when it's done like tastefully and well written, Emmy Larson is about one of the only guys on that team besides maybe Polsky or Powell who have been there, not as long as Larson, but for a while. But you know, it was handled just really well. That's what I like about the episode, is how well it was really handled. You know.
Mm-hmm. What would you score it?
Okay, here's the thing. When you were telling me about this episode, we were talking about a little bit on Messenger. I was really digging it. I didn't tell you this, but I was kind of thinking to myself, this is another 5-star episode. But you know, as much as I really wanted to give it a 10 for the biting meta alone, realistically, in my opinion, I think it's a solid 9 because I really, really dug it. But it's a phantom 10. I want to give it a 10 for all the right reasons, but for the wrong reasoning, if that makes sense. Because literally,
you're
episode,
basically trying to act like Nickelback for this score.
Oh my god! Yeah, I never made it as a Wise fan. Couldn't cut it as a brony talking. But yeah, no. So I want to give it a 10, but I probably should give it a 9. So just put me down for a 9. When we do our season retrospective, I'll see if it's still a 9 or 10 or not.
Okay. Well, I would give this an 8.5. And I'll explain it in just a second here. I'm just bringing this up because this needs to be said. Okay. So I feel like this is very similar to Rarity Takes Manhattan. And the reason I say that is I wouldn't call it a masterclass of an episode. Like with Rarity Takes Manhattan, they were acting like it was the best thing since sliced bread when it really wasn't. However, I will say that is a very fascinating and interesting introspection into the meta of the Brony fandom. So I give it an 8.5. So, yeah, You got anything to say before we end off, bud?
Yeah, I'm really tired, but I'm. This is an episode that I'm really glad that they made, and we also forgot the part where. Never mind the part where that one pony was straight up like Twilight was better before she had wings. My favorite one that they did. My favorite one they did was the guy that straight up went, "Are Pinky Pie and Applejack related or what?" That was hilarious.
So I agree with that. And I'm thinking,
there was a lot
wait a second. Is ship now? If they are, that's awesome.
But yeah, dude, so this is seriously some of the most I've laughed out of a new episode in a while. Like, each episode gets a...
Dude, you're going to need to plug your headphone in because I can barely hear you now.
Okay, how's that?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, sorry. But, each episode usually gets a few chuckles out of me, but like this one, I was just like pausing for a few seconds each time because I had to compose myself. So I'm just like, oh my god, I can't. It's that type of laugh where you literally say like, oh my god, like, and that I can't believe they just said that, but I'm really glad they did type of way.
Mm-hmm. I totally get you. So what's next week's episode about?
Thorax. Either Thorax comes to town, or Thorax goes to the Crystal Empire, and the dragon princess lady is there.
Ember?
Ember, I think so. And Spike's like, "Fuck, dude. What if the changelings and dragons don't get along?" I think it's like that. Let me look it up. I've got the synopses saved here just in case we need them.
Did your video turn off for some reason?
I don't think so. Let me.
Well, it's coming off of my end as just your OC. There we go.
Okay.
It switched back in for a split second.
God damn it, John. Okay, here we go. So the next episode, which I need to say right now, this episode, Fame and Misfortune, it had the really tough act of having to follow literally the greatest episode the show has ever had. And it was still real. It was a completely different, completely opposite type of episode, but it was still really good. Okay, here we go. Spike mistakenly invites both Thorax and Ember to Ponyville on the same day. And apparently ye olde Star Treks, Trixie and Glimmer are going to be in this episode. Glimtrix, that's right. Well, I don't know about Trixie, actually, but I know Starlight's going to be in this episode because all the Starlight haters are just like, why is she got to be in this episode? Which, admittedly, this feels way more like a Spike episode, but, if it's a Spike, it's even better because they're a really good team.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. So that's going to be interesting. I'm excited now.
Yeah, that's going to be...
And although I'm going to have to say, I'm going to have to wait on it because I'm getting married on Saturday. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, God. Too sweet me, bro.
Yeah, and by the way, we may do a little bit of a video because Eddie is actually coming up here for the wedding.
See this fancy footwork, bro?
Oh.
Yeah. I'm flash as fuck, boy.
So, yeah, that's it from me, John.
And Snakeskin.
And we will talk to you guys later. Peace out, Dragon.
I need a fucking nap.